Excellency, Fiji has had a very good record of success in combating the spread of COVID. Could you share with us Fiji's vision on how digital networks and services can be further developed to build resilience and enable the growth of services like e-health, e-learning, e-banking? And also, if you could let us know how digital systems have been instrumental in helping you achieve your success in pandemic management and control. Excellency, over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you, and good to see you also after about a year or so. Thank you for that. I mean, we've actually had about 365 days without any cases whatsoever in Fiji. Unfortunately, on the 365th day, we've had a bit of a community breakout of COVID-19, which has in fact meant that we've had to, in a way, very quickly quicken the pace regarding the adoption of technology for the management of the current active cases. We have about 40 cases that's currently active in the community. So we collaborated with Singapore, for example, and the Trace Together app, which we actually tweaked for our purposes. They gave us a source code, which we're very grateful for. And so the Care Fiji app actually has now over about 270,000 downloads, which is, in recent times with some of the cases that we've seen, helped us tremendously in contact tracing. So that's been highly successful. In a country like Fiji that's highly dependent on tourism, with the border shutting down, it meant we had overnight about 100,000 people becoming unemployed. So the issue of unemployment benefits, how do we manage that? So we manage that through the development of various portals with the Superannuation Fund. And that essentially meant that the unemployed could very quickly go into the portals, the employers could use those portals and be able to receive those unemployment benefits. And I think that's been quite significant. Just about 2 weeks ago, we had a very severe lockdown, and we got various containment areas. So we had to, for those people in particular in the informal sector, we had to, give them some form of funding. So the quickest way, in particular those in the informal sector, they're not, they don't have superannuation fund, to be able to disburse some funds for them, we use our mobile telephone companies for money wallets. So essentially people would text in the information using the various platforms that we had developed, the USSD platform we had developed, and they could then sort of, almost instantaneously after verification get those monies dispersed to them. So we've seen a rapid adoption by various businesses, corner stores, outlets, using money wallets, using the QR codes, which QR codes is not a very big thing in Fiji until recently, but suddenly that's been now adopted. And I think, it has been, you may know this also, that in the past, say, 4 or 5 years, we made huge, concerted efforts and pumped in quite a lot of money, including the regulation through an independent body in terms of wholesale pricing with the various competitors, and of course, which has an effect on the retail prices. Just to put it into context, just a few years ago, just prior to the COVID, we had the 10 gigabytes in Fiji cost about 20 Fijian dollars, which is US about 940. And within 18 months, we saw that drop to Fijian $1 or US 47 cents. So which has meant, we have a young population, 70% of the population is below the age of 40, so adoption of, technology is very quick, they're very good with it, and of course it's become a lot more affordable. So I think with all the sort of background work or the work we've been doing the past couple of years, it has helped us tremendously. So we are now seeing, where people in Fiji never did home deliveries or would not order online, just closing down of restaurants, etc., where it's quite contagious environments. So we're now seeing a lot more adoption of that type of technology in Fiji. So it has helped us tremendously. We also, just very quickly, I don't want to sort of take up too much time, we are now with the vaccine rollout. We are now, of course, developed a vaccine registry system, so essentially giving us a lot more, minutiae data of individuals who are actually getting vaccinated using biometrics, and to be able to eventually tap into what people are now talking about, health passports. And I think that's critically important, in particular for economies such as ours, where we depend on tourists, and so they will need to feel confident that we have a very transparent system of recording Fijians who actually have been vaccinated, and we can hold it up and say, look, 80% or 70% of the population has been vaccinated, we are safe to travel to, and so please do come in and fill up our hotels. And also similarly, Fijians can travel, to other countries. So that has been something that we really had to adopt really quickly, and of course to make sure we have something like 110 islands, whilst only about 2 islands has about 80 to 90% of the population. We still have to vaccinate people in other places. So they've had to also adopt the technology to be able to have the various devices go out to the islands, the health workers to be able to use those. It was critically important for us. So that the adoption of technology has helped us tremendously. Last but not least, I think the other point is that we've also had to ensure that we position ourselves, in particular in the post-pandemic environment, because everybody, of course, will be scrambling for the investment, for the dollar, and also during this period too, there are people who are looking for safer destinations in respect of health. So our companies offers various government e-services need to come up to speed to international standards, so it makes it a lot easier for investors to find you attractive as a place of investment. And so I think that's critically important. So we have been expending some funds in that space. Incidentally, recently our company's office won the Corporate Registrars Forum Innovation Award because our company's office basically gone online. So those are the kind of building blocks in respect of our response to the pandemic, and indeed our ability to be able to respond to the pandemic because of the kind of backbone we've built in recent times. So perhaps I'll stop there unless you've got some other questions.
Terrific, thank you. Thank you so much, Excellency. I think there's much to learn from your experience, and as you noted, you've been able to leverage digital and accelerate certain processes and implement new services. It's a terrific story, and thank you for that. I hope we can come back to you.